Get ready to move, get ready to prove. We're bringing the funk, gonna make you move. Life back system, it's time for change.
Hey guys, welcome back. Coach Lisa Pickard here with an 8-week transformation, mind, body, and spirit, working on our whiteboard, which is our education, the philosophy behind the program, the reasons why we do this, and most importantly, how your liver affects every single thing going on in your body. Whew! Today was fire. Okay, muscle hypertrophy. What exactly is it? Why do we do it? Why do we want to do it? Or possibly why would you not want to do it? I actually believe in this. I've believed it for 47 years. From the moment I learned about the training process of negative training is what we called it back in the day, or a descending workout. It is literally to get you the absolute maximum amount of results in the shortest period of time. So out with the old ways of 2 to 4 hours in the gym and in with the new ways, 20 to 30 minutes. You don't even have to go to the gym, which is the greatest part of all of these workouts. You have a full bundle right here at your fingertips, but you must do the work. Okay, so what does this mean? It means you're gonna grow muscle cells. And everybody goes like, what? Okay, the liver has to get functioning. When the liver puts out good blood cells, from there we also get great muscle cells. So we're gonna increase the size through exercise because we can't just lose weight. As you guys know, if you lose weight, you're gonna have a lot of hanging skin. You did not do the work in the process of decreasing, so now you're gonna have to struggle to catch up because you went ahead and you lost all this weight, but you didn't exercise along the way. Don't get me wrong, walking is phenomenal. Staying that heart rate between 120 and 140 most definitely is gonna get you optimal results. Sprinting gets you great results, but so does hypertrophy work. How do you get it? We're gonna talk about that. We wanna take your fibrillars and with the constriction of it and the strength and the speed, we're going to put this into a program that does scleroplasmic glycogen storage, energy, and endurance. All of that together, that was a mouthful, gets you your muscles back. If you don't do this, sure, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to lose lean muscle mass. We must protect our muscle mass. It is the one thing you cannot go to the hospital and buy. You must earn it. You must work for it. And if you think it's just going to happen when you're walking, you are so sadly mistaken. Weightlifting, low reps and high reps, and heavy weight and low weight. Which one do we want to do? To be perfectly honest with you, we want to do it all. So when we do low rep and heavy weight, for example, you got 20 pounds, you're only gonna do maybe 6 or 7 or 8 reps, right? But if we have a lightweight and we have like 10 pounds, we could do 25 reps. The difference here is that one is gonna tone you and it's gonna help out tremendously. It's gonna help burning calories at rest, but it's not gonna really build the fourth muscle fiber, which comes from lifting heavier, lowering your reps so that you can get autophagy through your fasting and shrinking that skin. So it's up to you really at the end of the day. Do you wanna just tone up a little bit, or do you want to actually build a little bit of lean muscle mass? And if you do want to build a little bit of lean muscle mass, I'm going to give you all the reasons why you want to do that. Because as you age, you are automatically decreasing at 85% per year in muscle mass. So if you don't keep up, I think the picture's really clear painted. By the time you're 75, 80 years old, you are going to literally be a bag of bones and skin. Maybe some tissue, ligaments, but you are not going to have muscle tissue. You must get off that treadmill, get off the bike, quit running, quit doing aerobics, and add in some lean muscle mass training through hypertrophy. Okay. What do? We damage the muscle. That's what we do. You're like, what? Why? Why would I go to the gym or come to you and damage my muscle? Because when we damage the fourth muscle fiber, we are breaking it down so that we have these other cells, and I'm going to talk about them in a second. These cells have to come in. They're called the starlight cells. They have to come in and they have to do the work by bringing and assessing the structural damage to the muscle. So now we're gonna break it all down through mechanical means. We're gonna bring in the muscle protein through these cells. We're gonna increase our muscle size, and we're gonna repair it, and the ATP, which is your satellite cell, is gonna go in and give you muscle gains. This your body knows how to do. Isn't that phenomenal that our body knows? We don't even have to teach ourselves how to do this. If you train properly, your body is automatically going to respond. But we're gonna talk about that in a moment, so hang on to those thoughts. Remember, the study shows that short movements, 1 to 3 seconds, we bring it up for 3 seconds, we pause, we bring it down for 3 seconds, is elongating your muscle. And when you do 2 to 4 seconds, you are going to have it a short isometric move. So these are highly effective, but I want to talk about what we said a second ago. What happens between the ages of 20 and 40 is that you have this great growth hormone. You're going to get great results. After 40, things change, which is why it is so important to work your muscle mass through the slower 1 to 3 second training. And that breaks it down, as we talked about before. It does damage to the structural muscle, and then we're going to metabolize it, and we're going to go back, we're going to stress the tension on it, and we're going to repair it. So while we're doing all this, we want to do at least 3 times a week of weightlifting. We do that all the time. We add it in, take it out, add it in. We do muscle confusion. There are people out there right now who would like to tell you that muscle confusion is not necessary. It is necessary, because just like you move into a new house next to a train track, you hear it every single day, maybe 7, 21 days. Next thing you know, you don't hear that train track anymore. Now your friends come over and they're like, wow, how do you live next to that train track? Because they hear it, right? So it's called adaptation. Your body starts to adapt to your workout, and it's not going to be effective. No offense to any gym, but if you put your money into a gym and you go and you do your own program and you are doing the same thing over and over again, you are so going to stress your ligaments and tendons that you're going to end up in an injury. It is so much better, and not because it's me, but it's so much more highly effective to work with a trainer. If you're going to put the money out, go get yourself a trainer who resets your workouts every 6 to 8 weeks, that does not put you on the same workout time after time after time, wasting your money. You've already invested here. You might as well capitalize on it, maximize on me. Get up and do the workouts. I do no other workouts than the workout with you. If you saw what I look like and you see what I look like now, it's a huge difference, and it happened right here in front of this camera in front of you. So just follow the program. Okay, 3 times a week we do max to failure. Typically I break it up a lot. I do legs and shoulders, back and bi, tricep and bicep, or I do chest and tri, back and bi, or we do just shoulders, or we do lower legs in the front or lower legs in the back. Literally, I mix it up more than you could ever imagine. In the last 3 years, we've never done the same workout twice or the same movements, which is a lot of workouts. So this is jam-packed in this course to get you the results that you paid for and that you want and desire. So from here, how many times a week do I have to work out? I highly recommend that you work out 3 times a week. If you can't make 3, you're gonna do a 2 time, and maybe you're gonna do an upper body and lower body. Once you have all of this information, you can heart the workouts you like, you can go back and do those workouts, you can start lighter weight, less reps, add more weight, add more reps, and at the end of the day, you're gonna get hypertrophy, which is going to get you your muscles. This is all about firming, toning a healthy body, because guess what? Your liver has muscle in it, your kidneys have muscle, your pelvic floor. You want to stop having all the diseases that you have, the side effects, everything going on. It comes from developing lean muscle mass, and there is no other way to get it. Absolutely none. Even if you are, let's say, a construction worker and you're hammering every day, you're only working and overworking one part of your body. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you don't train the whole body, including your mind, you're going to eventually fall apart. It's designed for the whole thing to work. So you could get away with 2 times a week for an upper body and a lower body, and then you could take off a couple days and maybe walk a day and get full recovery. There's nothing wrong with that program. It's absolutely fantastic. An athlete definitely trains 5 days a week. But if you're just casually getting to your goals and you're feeling good and you want to do an upper body, lower body, or maybe you want to break it up to 3 days with with 1 day on the weekend, you can always do that. Like it doesn't, I would say follow the course to a T in the beginning, but when you get where you want, if you wanted to add some variation, you could do there. But remember, we don't actually train on Wednesdays, or I say the middle of the weekday, because we're doing mindful muscle training, which is isometric. We're holding the muscle, putting the mind in the muscle, and we're still getting hypertrophy work because we're doing it in second intervals. So we're still going to get great results. Okay, your training cycle can be anywhere from 6 reps to 12 reps, and it can also be a rest period of 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and up to 90 seconds. If you were in a gym and if you were using machinery and you were doing heavier weight, let's say you're going to squat 200 pounds, you're on a Smith rack, you're going to push out maybe 5 or 6 reps, it is advisable to take about a 90-second break, right? Like walk away from it, let the blood get into the muscle, the glycogen get in there, break it down, and then go back and do your second set. We don't do that here, but we also can keep maxing up. I'm only right now at 20 pounds on each hand for most squats, and if I throw on my 20-pound vest at 60 pounds. Your bar alone is 45 pounds if you're at a gym. Then you put your plates on and you're starting to hit 120, 180, 200, 220 pounds. If that's the goal you want, by all means do it, but make sure you train safely, and I'm going to highly recommend you go hire a trainer to help you get through it, and make sure that they're certified, they know what they're doing, and they don't injure you. Injuries in the gym are just as dangerous as injuries in the bathtub. People are constantly getting hurt. There's no need for it. Okay, that's your training cycle. So some days you're going to lift heavier, you're going to have varied workouts, you're going to have muscle adaptation, which is that train track theory, and you need to pay attention to what you're doing every 6 to 8 weeks. Rotate that around. You want to go into the gym to break down the muscle, and then when we come out of the gym, we have to have a fat protein ratio. So our ratio, most days, I cycle you through that too, is 70% of your nutrition comes from fat and 30% comes from protein. Now, I don't want you under 1,000 calories unless I take you there. But on any given day, you should be on what we call an 18-hour fast and a 6-hour eating window, 1,500 calories. Now you're like, Coach, I don't want to count calories. Okay, you don't have to count calories, because once you know it, then you're going to be able to say, oh, a ribeye is 850 calories, 4 eggs was 400 calories, I'm at 1,250. I had a coffee today with some MCT, that's another, 120 calories with my collagen, that's 90 more. Okay, I'm at 1,500 calories. Bam, that's simple. All you're going to do is look at the protein and the fat, because 1,500 calories, the fat value out of that is going to be about 112 grams. And then on your protein, it's going to be about 116 grams. Now, if you go online and you do a bunch of Googling, quite frequently, they'll tell you about 58 to 60 grams of protein is all you need. All I can say is what you put in is what you're going to get out. If you want to build some lean muscle mass, this 70-30 is phenomenal. If you're having protein overload in your kidneys, you have kidney disease, and you feel like it's a bit much, you can easily switch down from 80-20. But I can tell you right now, that is not a lot of protein. And the rule of thumb is that, if you want to weigh 130 pounds, you eat 130 grams of protein. That's way too much for us. We are not bodybuilders. We're not doing that. We're not 30 years old. We're not chasing children or making children. Literally get these numbers under control, because they are going to affect your hypertrophy, which is going to help you develop lean muscle mass. Okay, now I know a lot of you immediately have been overeaters and you've been dieters, right? So you've done drastic extreme diets. Maybe you've even taken laxatives and you've eaten X-Lax, you've junked out on sugar, binged, and then you turn around and starved yourself for 4 or 5 days. This metabolic disorder that happens from that literally will show up in your blood work. It shows up in your liver work. You could absolutely have missed the diagnosis of fatty liver disease and or fibrosis of the liver because your body was so sick. So when we start to peel away the onion and we start to see the truth of what's going on and our blood work starts to show things is when we really realize what is going on. So always stay in touch with that, but remember, it is a reading, it's a number, and from there, you're gonna make an assessment off of what needs to be done. Get with your doctor on that. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice here, but I am saying this works as far as if you're doing the entire program. You must eat. I don't want to hear anything about starvation. I didn't eat enough. I'm not eating enough. Fasting is one thing. That is not starving yourself. It's fasting. It's when you become fat adapted. We've taken a process to get to this point. But if you're just not eating, you're destroying your body. Not only are you gonna have metabolic syndrome, you're gonna have a lot of problems later on down the road because you chose not to eat again. You must correct the mind first, and then the body will follow. So, and they do work together. Okay, let's look at here. So you have your fat, protein. Now let's talk about time. How much time does it take? Well, you want to do 20 to 30 minutes of your exercise. So let's say you're going to do legs, 20, 30 minutes, boom, you're done. Pick 3, 4 exercises. You're doing 1 second or 3 seconds up, 1 second pause, 3 second down. It goes relatively fast. Through that time, then we have a recuperation time. And the recuperation time is when we're feeding our body, we have protein synthesis, and from there we have a day of rest. So that's why we alternate our workouts so that you work out, like let's say you're gonna do a pull day. So every movement you do is pulling the muscle, and then the next day you're gonna do a pushing, and then you go back to pull. It's actually been well over 24 hours for your body to rest, recuperate, and recover. And that is like critical too. You don't train day after day after day, otherwise you get what we call a stringy effect, and it's going to be unproductive to what we're looking for, and it leads to injury. The next thing I want to talk about is how much weight. You want to use only weight that you can handle. Now, if you were not working out with me and you're working out with a partner, or you're going to the gym and you have a trainer, they need to spot you. I mean, I'm talking about like hands-on spotting so you don't get injured. I can't even tell you, after being in this business for 47 years, how many times I've seen barbells come down on somebody's chest and onto their neck. They've injured their back in a squat where it pushes them forward. They've pulled their hamstrings from thinking they could pull the weight up. Get a trainer and a spotter, or work out at home in the mind-muscle connection, and you're gonna get just as probably better results right here on this program than anything else out there. So we want to talk about the weights. Okay, so let's say that you hit 20 pounds and you're just like pumping them out. Okay, if you can pump out, which I can't, right? And if you could do like 3, 4, or 5 sets at that weight and you're ready to graduate up, you go up in increments of 2 pounds. Do not take a 10-pound leap. You will hurt yourself. Instead, maybe if it's legs, throw a vest on for 10 pounds and let that be your 10-pound increment. Put some leg weights on, use some wrist weights. There's so many safe, effective ways. You could even do a squat. This is a hypothetical situation. 20 pounds, 20 pounds, 20 pounds. That's 60 pounds with a vest and 2 weights. You could put a band between your legs and increase that resistance and still get maximum results. So we're going after safety first always. So don't just jump in there and keep upping your weights. It's not going to be safe. Even though you feel like you could do it, I'm just recommending you not do it. Now, you need to think to yourself, what do I want? What's my vision look like? Do I want more definition? Do I actually want to be bigger? For me, I'm not like into being big. I'm not a big person right now anyways. I was a fat person at one time. But like right now, I'm a size 0 pants. People are like, wait, what? You're how tall? Because for some reason I appear taller than I am. I am not 5'8". I'm 5'3.5". I'm actually have shrunk a little bit. And I'm a size 0, and my bust is like a 32, maybe D max. And the reason why I'm telling you this is so you can kind of get a perspective of where I was. 200 on almost 60 pounds, 258 pounds. And I was a 38 or a 40 double F. So you could imagine what would happen with all that skin, right? Like there's a lot of skin when you lose the fat and you don't rebuild the muscle. So what do I like? My vision is a very toned body, a very sleek body, a low body fat index. I love love 18%. It's like my sweet spot. And then from there, I like to look athletic. So what does athletic look like to you? Maybe you want to be a runway model. That for me would never work. I'm not 5'9". I don't have that kind of genes. We'll talk about that another day, but there are body types, and I like my body type to fit my physique, and that is where I work with. So I like seeing a little bit of muscle definition, but I don't necessarily want to be Arnold. So you need to have your vision board done by this point. You should be really dialed in, focused in on what type of goals do you want. And I can tell you this from personal experience, I did not want a lot of hanging skin. And in order to do that, I must stay full, right? So you've got to fill this up with something. And as the autophagy comes down through the fasting and your hypertrophy comes up, which is building your lean muscle mass, those two meet together and give you a really nice shape throughout your whole body. I think having a very strong upper body for a female, working on the posture, because for years we've carried babies, we've had large breasts, we've nursed kids, we sit at computers, we have this fallen body. We need to bring it back up, and that comes from a strong back, a strong chest, and strong shoulders, which comes from all of this type of working out. Okay, so now let's look at trauma. Everybody goes, oh wait, trauma. Yeah, so we want to create trauma in our muscle, because when we do this, the cells, the satellite cell that I was telling you about, goes in, and it's a different cell than like your red blood cells or your circulatory cells. This cell actually goes in as an emergency situation and starts healing the trauma to the muscle. So immediately within 4 hours of working out, your brain signals, hey, we've had an accident. We need to go work on that bicep or those legs. And literally it goes in and it starts the hypertrophy situation or the process. And then from there it starts, I like to visualize it myself as a crew of army men. They're on site and they're like sewing it back up and they're fixing it. Little bit of soreness is totally normal. To have pain and gain is a lie. You do not need to be so sore that you can't wash your hair, that you can't sit down on the toilet. That is a lie. It's fabricated. It came from really extensive steroid heads. You don't need to do that. You just want to feel like, oh, I worked that out. That feels good. It shouldn't be intense or painful. If in the event you did do that, you're going to want to just put something on it to relieve it, take an Epsom salt bath, have a little extra magnesium. It will help repair it faster. So now your muscle fibers are broke down. As I told you, I like to see them. Imagine that this is all like fat between my hands and it's bulging through the muscles. As we do hypertrophy, we're going to bring it down and make it super tight and create a leaner muscle and a tighter skin and youthfulness. It's like such a win. From there, your muscle starts to adapt to what you're doing, which is why we recircle and we cycle back up again and we create another program. This program has so many programs inside of it that you can't go wrong, and I love that as well. So the new cell satellites bring in new blood, it repairs the cells that we damaged on purpose, and it creates muscle mass. This protein, I guess it's like a, I don't know what the right word is, synopsis, this whole thing comes together as a process to get you the results that you're looking for. Okay, so now let's go back right here because I omitted hormones for a reason. I want to talk about your hormones. Now you're aging out. So again, 20 to 40, you've got the hormones, the growth hormones are going, things are up, you're repairing, you're recovering, everything you're doing super good. You hit 40, 42, 45, 50, and you're like, man, I go to the gym, I work out, I eat right, I do this, I do that, and nothing works. It's because everything you're doing isn't formulated properly to give you a program that gets you results by bringing growth hormone back into your system along with testosterone and estrogen. Every single thing on carnivore balances that out. Does it happen immediately? Not if you're really sick. If you have a lot of damage in your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your heart, it can take some time. This is a process that makes you get better. Let me tell you this, for 45 years, you never cared. You didn't care. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna eat some more Doritos, have another Taco Bell, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm on the wagon. I want results today. Unfortunately, our body does respond relatively quickly. We can reverse aging and damage, but we also have to still give it time because those hormones are no longer being manufactured in your body. All of a sudden you start to train and it goes, hey, we're going to make some more growth hormone. And your body's like, oh no, that's kind of funny. We're a little too old for that. And your body goes, no, no, no. This is what the brain's telling me. We need growth hormone, and the liver will make it. So what happens if your brain's saying make it and the liver is like, you know, drugged, and it's like, what? What do you want me to do? I can't do that today. Just imagine these two communication systems, this incredible internet system inside your body can't communicate. It's like all the people stuck on the mountain that can't get any service. There's no way for them to communicate. It's the same thing from your brain to your liver and the gut. We got to get it all working together. Okay, so now we go down here and we look at the basic principles of working out. So you can work out, as I said earlier, the number one thing that you have in your possession is your body. Not only is it your temple, you take care of it, you stay spiritually sound, you stay mindfully sound, positive affirmations, turn that cup the other way and start seeing life in a very harmonious, peaceful way. But your body weight is that is like the greatest gift that you have in order doing push-ups, jumping jacks, squats, all planking. All of these things are going to naturally burn more calories at rest than if you go to the gym. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you are over 200 pounds, you're 300 pounds, you're 400 pounds, you're like, I can't even do that. Trust me, I know you can't do it. That is why I want you to go and do what you could do. If you can wall plank, wall plank. If you can plank on your knees and off the edge of your couch, do it a little bit each day, because you know what? To hold 253 pounds off the ground for a minute, that takes a lot of strength. But as the weight comes down and your body gets stronger, they meet together and they create the hypertrophy, which then gives you your lean muscle mass. So you can work out with just your body. You don't need to go to the gym. I don't know, I don't want to like say I'm against gyms, because I'm not, but you don't need it. That's all I can tell you. You want to do resistance training. So in the beginning, you don't own any resistance bands. That's okay. What would work instead? You could grab a towel. You know, you can use the towel to move back and forth. You can literally, I kid you not, imagine that your hands are magnets and you're just pulling them apart. Can you see those muscles working? Or I'm pushing them in. That is resistance training. Your body is the greatest gift and the greatest gym you will ever own. It's the greatest tool you'll ever have. Free weights are great. If you have them, you can start with egg weights, the little babies. You can start with a can of food, water bottles frozen full of rocks. Literally do not allow being at home or finances to prevent you from getting healthy. It's a lie. Untie those lies, break those chains, and focus on getting yourself healthy. And if you do have access to all those things, you own a Fit Pulse, you own your free weights, you own a gym, that's awesome. Don't just hang your clothes on it. Use it. Like literally stop being lazy. Okay, from here, we have a process that happens in the hormones. So if you're aged out, 65, 70 years old, maybe even 45, because today's times have changed so much compared to the 60s and the 50s, you no longer are making testosterone. And if you are making it, it's at a very low level. Well, as soon as you went carnivore, your body started increasing the testosterone level. And now right now, all your women are going, wait, that's for my husband. No, it's not for your husband. This is for you. This is what gives you your vitality, your hair. This is what blocks the DH blockers that cause your hair to fall out. This is what gives you beautiful glowing skin, youthfulness. You have to have testosterone. Your number on your testosterone should be over 70 on your blood work. Now, usually they tell you, oh, you're 10, that's good. No, it's not good, because that's why you got fat on your butt, fat on your belly, because you don't have enough balance between your estrogen, your testosterone, and your progesterone in order to make hypertrophy work. It will work and it will produce itself, but it takes time. You guys have to give yourself a little bit of patience here. Cardio and weights is a major win. Remember that when you do your cardio, you always want to get to 70 to 80% of what we call our heart resting rate. That's HRR, heart resting rate. And I'm going to tell you how to figure that out. So you want to do that for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, at least 3 days a week. I prefer you to be there 4 to 5 days a week. We're doing 4 days a week here with an active rest day that you could take it up again if you chose to, but we stay at 4 days a week and it totally works. Like, this system works. So how do I get my resting rate reserve? This is going to be very, very simple. So you take your max heart rate. Let's just say that my max heart rate might be like 180. Typically, my max would be 160. I would probably never take myself to 180. So what you're going to do is you would take the 160, and this is pretty simple. You're going to take away your age, and then underneath your age, you're going to come up with a number, right? So if we do this, and I cancel this out, we've got 95, right? Was that right? 16, 15 minus 6. Yeah. So this would be what I would want to do to burn body fat. So somewhere between 95, 105 at 65 years of age would be a really great place to be, especially if you're not an athlete. You can raise this up percentages if you're an athlete. So I'm not technically an athlete, but I am considered athletic because I work out at least 4 days a week, and typically we do 5. So I take this up to 120 to 140, and I do my absolute best to stay under 140, because when I go over it, the same as you, depending on your age, you're going to just eat the lean muscle mass. I don't want to lose any muscle. It takes way too long to build it to sit there and throw it away. So aerobic queens, bring it down, step it down, slow it down. You will sweat just as much. You will get rid of more toxins out of your body if you stay in that zone than if you're doing a Harvey wall banger off the wall. It just doesn't work properly. So we want to keep our heart rate in there. You've got to have your protein, which takes you to a carnivore, and from there, you are going to be super successful. Okay, there's one more thing over here I want to hit. Remember that from 20 to 40, you have an incline. You're going up the hill. You have great results. But from 60 to 65 to 85, you're losing your muscle mass at 25 to 45% faster. In other words, it's dwindling out. Like, you take 3 weeks off, it falls right away than you did when you were between 20 and 40. So it's really important, but the bonus is that if you have muscle memory, so let's say you worked out for a year and you took 3 weeks off to go to Europe, when you come back, it's going to be a struggle, but hang in there, because after 21 days, your body's going to kick right back in, and that muscle memory mass is going to come back, and you'll get results, not quite as fast as a 20 or 40-year-old, but the results will come back at a faster rate. So don't give up. Stay on track. If you have to take time off, do it scheduled. So, like, for example, we have a gal that's on vacation right now. She's walking like 10 and 12,000 steps every day. She may not be training with weights, but she's maintaining that cardiovascular system, which is so important for your muscle memory. Okay, let me bring this other side up. Now, what is the benefits of everything I've just told you? It lowers your blood pressure. Now, when we do this, when we train our muscle and we train our cardio, we're training our liver, we're creating these satellite cells, we're taking care of our red blood cells, and that is the portal that runs across the aorta that affects your heart. If you don't work out and you only lose weight, your blood pressure stays up. It's actually more stress on the liver. Now remember, the liver is your blood pressure, even though everybody goes, oh, it's my heart, it's my heart. It's like, no, it's your liver, because the portal can't get the blood through this chamber that is a pressure. So if you have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, it's just a sign that you potentially need to work on your whole entire body, but primarily your liver. So it's going to lower your blood pressure. It's going to lower your cholesterol, because one of the first things that people say is, oh my gosh, you're carnivore, your cholesterol is going to go crazy. If you only did carnivore and you never worked out, which is a huge fad, right? Like, this is what everybody's doing out there. You don't need to work out. You don't need to work out. And their cholesterol is going higher. Am I afraid for them? No, because there's enough studies and scientific proof that shows The cholesterol isn't really your factor, it's the triglycerides. But I'm gonna tell you, if you incorporate workouts in there and you eat carnivore like we would have in our ancestral days or our primal days, they didn't sit around, and they would have been attacked by animals or people or Indians or whatever. They were on the go, they were moving. God only knows how many steps they took in a year's time, but it keeps the cholesterol under control. So if your cholesterol is a little too high, how about getting up and moving around? Instead of going back to processed foods and vegetables and fruit, why not move a little bit more? It's so simple to me. I'm just trying to get it to you so it makes sense. Balance right here. This is the key, you guys. Not only balance in mind, body, spirit, but balance in your body. Let's just say that you're aging out like I was at a very early age. My body at 50 was closer to 80 years old or 88 years old on my metabolic age. My balance was so off. My hips were out from shifting that weight all the time. I know obese people who will not get up and do something about their body because it's painful. Sometimes we got to go through that. We have to go slow. I have huge compassion. I was there. I actually used to sit and visualize myself. God, how are you going to use me in a wheelchair? And obviously he showed me differently, right? So take heed to that. Listen to those words. Are you projecting out wheelchair or are you projecting out health? You are the only person who can change this. So find the balance in your body, your mind, and your spirit, but in the balance, like walking on a balance beam. When I was a gymnast, that was one of my events to compete in, was on a balance beam. There was a time not too long ago that I was like, I couldn't walk a line. I probably would have been arrested for drunk driving, even though I was totally sober, because my balance was so bad. I can tell you, I've stayed consistent and I have healed that through exercise. Flexibility, wow. There are so many people over 100 years old that will tell you the one thing, never, ever, ever, ever give up, is stretching. Never give up your flexibility, because when it gets harder and harder to get out of bed, you get sore and sore, guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up bedridden with pneumonia and die from illness. Why? Why would you want to do that? Get up. I don't care if you take one step tomorrow. Take one step and then take 2 steps in a week and then 3, and keep logging, journaling, so that you can see your progress, because progress definitely motivates us to keep going. Bone density. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many people that I have dealt with that are like, oh, I'm super healthy, this, that, myself included. And then you get a bone density score and it's like, wow, your bones are almost hollow. Like they're frail, they're brittle, they're broken, they're horrible. You've got all kinds of osteoporosis going on. If you do hypertrophy training, you're going to get bone density. It's going to continuously increase. So yes, I know you're watching your scale, but like seriously, put that vision away for a moment and focus on these other numbers. Visceral fat, body fat, how much bone density you have, what's your water, what's your proteins. These things are so much more critical than what that scale says. Okay, along with that, weight management, as I was just talking about, you're gonna get your obesity under control. It is a natural thing. If you get rid of sugar, you get rid of empty calories, you get rid of processed foods, ultra processed foods, chemicals, you're automatically gonna lose weight. Anybody could do that. We could call it like lose weight for dummies, right? You're all going to lose weight, but now what's happening on the inside? You've actually made yourself extremely sick. Let's not do that. Okay, pain. As I said before, I don't believe in pain and gain, but I will tell you this, if you follow this program, you're gonna move yourself off of pain, out of pain, no longer on the island of pain. You're gonna move over to the island of gain. We're gonna burn that bridge up with that torch, and you're gonna feel amazing and never go back to living in pain. Healing and heart disease. Heart disease, I can't even tell you how many people on their death certificate, natural causes, heart disease. It wasn't the heart, it was the liver. So focus on your liver. If you have liver cirrhosis, liver fibrosis, remember every 6 weeks to 12 weeks, in that time frame, your liver is creating new cells. Stay with it. If you're right at the beginning and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is working, I'm not really sure, stay with it, because 6 to 12 weeks, these new liver cells start to come up. Depending on the damage, It could be more like 3 months to 9 months. Remember, you damaged your body and now you're here to do your best to get it healed. Okay, when we look at what happens also through this whole entire program, we reverse and or slow down the effects of aging. Man, muscle loss and aging, all I can tell you is go hug your grandma, go talk to your neighbor, go to a convalescent home or a senior citizen home. Give them a hug. There's nothing there but bones. That is not where you want to end up. You have to stay focused on keeping those muscles up. And for how long? As long as you can. How long are you going to do this? For as long as you're alive. It is not a temporary fix to a permanent problem. This problem will come back time and time again if you don't just stay on track. Your body is the best piece of equipment that you'll ever have. It is your holy temple. It is where you reside. It's the only thing you have. If your house is washed out, burned up, taken away, and you're alive, you're living inside your shell. Take it as a prized possession. Treat it like a mansion. Treat it as if you have all of everything in the world. Your resources go in to making your mind, body, and spirit as healthy as it possibly can be. Lifting weight, doing wellness programs, HIIT, military, which is a great workout. You want to do no load, you want to go to failure. Remember, all of this makes a perfect, healthy body. Now, when I say perfect, we also know that that is a progressive body. So it's an ongoing rejuvenation that happens every day. So we're restoring ourselves daily. If your body needs a break, which all bodies need a break, you take a rest day a week and an active rest day a week. So for me, it's Saturday and Sunday. I do my best just to do my chores. I don't ever work out on Saturdays and Sundays, but if we were going to go, shopping, I'm obviously getting some steps in. If I'm cleaning stalls, I'm getting steps in, or if I'm doing gardening, but I don't work out. Your body has to rest. If you don't rest properly, it's never going to give you back what you're putting into it. There are two different types of workouts that we do. One is keeping the tension on the muscle. For example, if you do a stationary lunge or squats, or actually in motion, that's an isotonic move, which is in motion. So you're going back and forth in a crunch or a bicep or whatever. An isometric, which is a wall sit. It might be holding a lunge, holding a plank. I incorporate everything into this program. So you don't have to go research it and go, oh my gosh, she only covered this, now I got to go cover that. We cover it all. So you don't have to worry about where you're getting your next piece of information from. It's like a one-stop shop, right? You got it all here. We do compound movements where we take like a side plank with a weight, or we do 2 and 3 exercises at one time, like maybe you're doing a squat and a bicep together. These are going to work together, as well as mountain climbers, burpees, even jumping jacks. These are all compound movements, along with cardiovascular, keeping your heart rate up at a HIIT, high intensity workout. We can also do a LISS, which is a low intensity workout. So it just depends on what we're doing at that time, but I will and do incorporate all of it into your workout. You're going to get some results. You're going to stop looking at that scale, cross it out. It's not important. Look at your body. Do you look swollen in your eyes? Are you swollen in your face, your hands, your knees, your ankles, your feet? You want to look leaner, like you just want to kind of start to see some definition. This is a sign of the fluid exiting your body. You'll even start to see it in your rib cage, or maybe you'll see it in your quadriceps or your calves. Calves hold so much fluid, it's insane. But when you start to see that little diamond cut back there, you know you're progressing along. Remember that by doing this program, you're going to burn energy and not muscle. We want to burn energy from our stored fat. Our glycogen that's in our liver comes forward and it keeps us moving the muscles so that we don't lose the muscle. Along with that, the duration of resting metabolic also burns more calories at rest. So for me right now, I'm about 1,800 to 2,000 calories at rest. If I was to only eat 1,000 calories, I mean, you could do the math, take 2,000 minus 1,000, I would be 1,000 deficit for that day. That means I don't have enough energy coming in. My body is going to stall, or worse, it's going to go over to the lean muscle mass and get what it needs. It'll always save fat. It will not save muscle. So be really in tune with where you are and what you're doing. If you don't understand that, let's just say 2,000 calories at rest, right? So this is rest. And I only ate 1,000 calories, right? So that's my food. My bottom line is that I'm 1,000 calories deficit. Where is it going to get it from? My liver's making glycogen. I starved myself. It's no longer getting what it needs. It's gone to metabolic disorder. It's going to eat lean muscle mass. So I'm in the gym and I'm working and working. I'm like, man, I can't get any size. It's because I'm in the deficit. But let's say, for example, I'm burning 2,000 calories and I eat 3,000. Now I'm up 2,000 and my body grows cells. So I start to get in the winner's circle. This is where I have a win-win situation. Follow the program, you guys. You'll get the results. Okay. By doing this workout, hypertrophy, you're going to prevent accidents. We're going to go back to being in balance. We're not going to trip over the stairs. We're not going to break a hip and have to, end up in the hospital with pneumonia and die. You have a better positive outlook. You have more positive movements. You're more eager to get up and move around. You're not just going, oh my God, I have to get up again. No, you're going to get up. You're going to take care of things. You're going to feel energetic. People are going to be like magnets to you because they're going to be like, wow, you have so much energy. And it's like, yeah, energy creates energy. It is a positive thing. And then along with this, the movement that you're able to do, you're no longer, getting up and going, oh my gosh, why did I sit so long? It's like, bam, you're up and you're feeling good. You're going to build muscles and you're going to reverse aging and eliminate disease. So do we get rid of all disease? Just so that everybody is super clear, a lot of diseases are going to go dormant. So they're going to be into like remission. But the second you go back to whatever it was you were doing that got you there, Doritos, chips, alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, that ugly monster is going to rear its head in full force. Like it's just going to come back with a vengeance, and it actually will be really ugly. So once you do this, you don't want to fall off the wagon. Forget about going to Paris and having, pastries because you're only there one time. You don't need it. Why would you want to go there to eat instead of just enjoying the scenery and the company and the people? Like really start to analyze why you do what you do. Remember, you're a warrior. It's time to level up. This is your time. Take it up a notch. Raise the bar. Your warrior is on fire. Your warrior wants to be a victorious warrior. Get away from being a wounded warrior. You're not going to be a weekend warrior anymore, even though weekend warriors still, they can hang in there. But you don't party all week and work out on the weekends, or vice versa. Don't work out all week and drink on the weekends. You're going to, doing this program, you're going to reduce all your anxiety, your depression, dementia. The risk is stroke and Parkinson's disease, not to mention Alzheimer's. So all together, hypertrophy is going to get you the results that you're looking for. And most importantly, I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you back soon. If you have any questions, take it to the tribal page, and I'll help you out there. Take care, and God bless.